Able to hear the audio as well?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone who has joined in today. We are just waiting for some of our members to join in today so we can start. And in the meantime, our guest speaker, Mr. Abdul Kader, has his beautiful garden, which he is
One of
showing
our
you
member.
around. Yeah, this
No,
is
no,
our members'
this is
garden.
member from Abu Dhabi. We always say it's the space and the place never be a constraint to grow our own food. And this is one of a member from Abu Dhabi in WhatsApp group 3. That's again Miss Deepa Ravi. He has his flat in Abu Dhabi. House he is keeping everything in indoor. House is growing beautifully with the power of rice versus water. You can see the video. You can able to look around.
So that really looks very amazing. You can see that even it doesn't matter the space you have, you can still have a garden inside your house. I really appreciate many of you have joined in at 2:30, and that was the idea, that we have all the audience ahead of time so that there are no interruptions, and we can start our webinar today at 3. So we are just making use of this time and taking you around. Can I just get some feedback from the participants who have joined in today? Are you able to hear me? Am I audible? So you can just type in a yes message. So we are good to start. Okay, excellent. I can see a lot of messages coming in that
That's
that's great. That's great.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It's really soothing to your eyes when you see a lot of greenery around you. And I'm sure end of this webinar, we are all motivated and inspired to have the similar garden in our homes and let the desert, the environment not be a constraint for us. So that was the whole thought and idea behind bringing up this webinar over to you. And I'm so glad that you all have joined in. Thank you so much, Veena. Thank you always for encouraging. I can see your comment. Dr. Veena is one of the most active member of our Women's Forum, and she always inspires and motivates all of us. That's a beautiful aloe vera plant, right, Mr. Abdul Kader?
Exactly. You know, this is the plant should be kept in your bedroom to have plenty of oxygen in the night.
Okay, that's great.
Their guest in their home.
I think, yeah, you already have a question coming up from Dr. Rajesh Babu in the meantime, saying, what about the sunlight?
That's the beauty of indoor plants. So that's all definitely we'll be discussing in detail when you have after the forum gets over. We will discuss in every aspects how it's exactly going to it's going to benefit and how it's going to happen, everything. One moment.
In fact, just to take you through the agenda, we will be having the presentation from Mr. Abdul Kader, and thereafter we have some time for the Q&A session, which will be taken over by Ms.Sumathi Veeraraghavan, who has also joined us today. She is also our Women's Forum member, and thereafter, I think most of your queries will be answered. In case some of them are still left, what Mr. Abdul Kader has been kind enough is that he has created a link, and you can join into this group, wherein any queries which are not answered from today, it will be done through this group. You can write to him, but Mr. Abdul Kader is also a professional, so he does have his commitment. So I would request to accommodate, and then whenever time permits, he will definitely get back to you. So this is one of the good thing which you are going to enjoy, because after this you still have a lovely group where you can join, and you can share your experiences on gardening. And during the course of the webinar, we will be sharing the group address to you, so where you can join in and be a part of this nature's lovers extended family. So I think these are the water plants, as you can see. It's a beautiful garden.
Yeah. Again in Abu Dhabi. One of a member from Abu Dhabi. So to prove that, if you don't have a soil, never mind, still you can grow some other things. So that's the proof. Yeah, there is a query. I will be just sharing with you all the queries which are coming in as our audience is watching the videos live here. Mites or insects will not come when we keep inside the house. Good question. So that's what saying. These are there are natural pest repellent plants are there. If you look at mint, lemongrass, these are the plants naturally, even tulasi. And when you're growing in water, it's obviously no need to worry about that. And even even if you're growing in sand near the windowsill, still we have one of the most species thing which is having in a kitchen called cinnamon powder and turmeric. That will take care of it. It will not come. I can see that a couple of participants have raised their hands. I think they had some queries or questions they would like to ask, but just to let you all know that when during the presentation, I would let Mr. Abdul Kader continue with these presentations, and any queries you can put it in your chat box, because we do have a Q&A session, and during that time Ms. Sumathi will go through the questions and pick up the most frequently asked one, and whatever is left, we will then you can raise them up in the group which we are just going to form after the webinar. So we just have 5 minutes to go, so till then enjoy the greenery, and we will be starting the webinar sharp at 3. Thank you everyone, those who have just joined in today, and welcome to today's webinar on natural and organic gardening. Lovely to have you all again. Thank you. Suleif, I'm not sure, because there is a query here from the audience if this session will be available later, if there is any recording happening, because this has been, the technical part has been looked after by our ISC staff. So I have just checking on that bit, which I'm not sure if the recording link is available, but I will let you know shortly.
We have a good number of participants who have joined in today, which is very encouraging.
Slave is around, Mr. Slave?
Yes, he's around. Okay, I've just got a response from our ISC office team, who is Mr. Suleif, that yes, the webinar recording will be available. Those who have joined in late or those who are for personal reason not able to attend today's webinar. So happy to share that the recording will be there for later. So you can still watch it. Just 5 minutes to go and then we should begin our program. Really appreciate your patience, and I'm so happy we already have a good number of people joining in. The thought of having this webinar is basically because I think this is the need of the hour now, that we really are looking for organic stuff, and we have plenty of time available now as we are indoors because of the current situation of COVID. And a lot of the people have taken over gardening as a hobby, and slowly it's getting into a passion now. And we always have some concerns, and we are not able to get the right way to do and grow our plants. So I think today's webinar session will answer most of the queries. Sumathi has just shared, if you can check your chat box, there is a group which we have created. You can just in the meantime note down the address. It's chat.whatsapp.com. So this
There's a click away. If they click the link, just it will take you to the group itself.
Yes, and later
Yes.
in all our relevant groups, we will be sharing this link. So you can join to this group by just clicking on the link. I think, Mr. Abdul Kader, there are a lot more questions coming in there. What is natural composting, you call it, and why?
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely. When I explain the nature, then you'll understand why natural composting call it. It's basically they should when rain comes, it touches the soil. There is a life begins for the soil. The composting happening naturally. So how to make a similar one? That's what they call as natural composting. Anyway, I'm ready to answer in detailed way how it's happening, everything and all in the forum once the initial session gets over.
okay, that's great. So whoever raised the question, you have an answer there already from Mr. Abdul Kader. I think it's Mr. Ramesh. So we will definitely go through, Mr. Sumathi is going to go through all the queries, and we will try and answer as much as we can during the Q&A session.
Wow.
And just in a couple of minutes, we are about to start. What is rooting harmonies, and how can we prepare
basically
naturally?
what they call as a rooting hormones, and how can you prepare naturally? Yeah, as I said, you have if you say one thing, everybody will amaze your the saliva from your mouth is one of the rooting hormone as well, natural rooting hormone.
I have Dr. Devhuti here who is asking that where is the link, ma'am? Can you post it in the chat box? Dr. Devhuti, it's already done by Sumathi Veeraraghavan just a few comments before. It's chat.whatsapp.com. And I think we are all ready to start. Thank you once again. Sulef, can we get on the main screen, please? Thank you. The love of gardening is a seed once sown that never dies. On behalf of India Social and Cultural Center, Honorary President Mr. Yogesh Prabhu, Honorary General Secretary Mr. Jojo Ambukan, Honorary Entertainment Secretary Mr. Jay Pradeep, and the Managing Committee members, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar organized by the Women's Forum of India Social and Cultural Center, Abu Dhabi. My name is Deepa Lobo and I'm the convener for the Women's Forum at India Social and Cultural Center, Abu Dhabi. Today, we are proud to introduce to you our webinar topic on natural and organic gardening presented by our guest speaker, Mr. Abdul Kader. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat box in your Zoom control panel. We will take them up after the presentation during our Q&A session. And now let me welcome and introduce our guest presenter for today. Mr. Abdul Kader is a proponent for natural living and zero budget gardening. Currently, he works as an operations manager in freight forwarding and logistic company in Dubai. He hails from southern Tamil Nadu and has been residing in Dubai since 2003. He had a profound affection for nature since his childhood and believes natural living means connecting with nature and contributing to save it. Leading an expat life in an apartment, the consequences of consuming contaminated produce and inhaling indoor air worried him. As a solution to this, he began growing outdoor plants for food and indoor plants to cleanse the air and has successfully inculcated this in his home and workplace. With the aim to share his experience of growing plants in desert sand with others, he started a WhatsApp group in Tamil in 2019. Many good-hearted humans joined him in his journey. Today, there are multiple groups in different languages with an emphasis on traditional way of living along with nature. In this journey towards self-sustenance, the ultimate point emphasized is space and place should not be a constraint to grow your own food. So without further ado, over to you, Mr. Abdul Kader.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. All the praise to the Lord Almighty. Thank you, Ms. Deepa, for the lovely introduction. Indeed, it's my pleasure to present today's webinar on natural and organic gardening. Before moving on, I would like to thank the Indian Social, Cultural and Center Managing Committee for giving me the opportunity to share my experience. And thanks to ISC Women's Forum Convener, Ms. Deepa Lobo and Ms.Sumathi Veeraraghavan for arranging this webinar. And thanks to you all for attending this wonderful webinar. Well, when it comes to natural gardening is a part of a natural living. That's the first and foremost thing. That's why we have chosen the first topic as a ways to bring nature to your home and life, right? Then most of the people will come and asking the questions, come on, I'm living in a studio apartment where there is not even a balcony exists. How to do natural gardening there? Yeah, that's the reason for the second topic. We are chosen as a grow your own food with the space and the place not being a constraint. That means to say the gardening does not require exclusive land or some bigger stuff. With your strong intention of the desire with the dedication, that matters. Basically, the good intentions take you through to grow and harvest a few vegetable greens in the space available to you. And the third topic where you took as a tan your, basically this is they been you have got it. Now I have got some land, some balcony, something like you have got to be saying that I have got land as well. Then what to do that? Then that's what you have to go. No need to without purchasing, without hurting your pocket, turning your kitchen waste to an amazing plant booster. So I'll be speaking about all these things. Uh, how to grow, in fact, the final one is most important thing. It's about your plant growth, how to boost your plant growth using your kitchen waste itself. So this is what it's all about. Now let's get into the topic with one moment. So welcome. Now the first one, let us take is ways to bring nature to your home and life. Well, why need to bring nature to your home and life? Yeah, we are aware of the consequences of posed by humans, both physically and mentally, as we've chosen a lifestyle. You'll all be knowing of living away from nature or living against the nature. So we are not going to detail into that. To practice natural living, first we need to start observing nature, right? Nature, what I mean here, plants, animal, birds, other organism that is small or bigger enough or around you. You have to even choose, observe your own body. By observing, you will be coming to know that the water, air, food are needed for functioning our human body. It's derived from nature, isn't it? Now, each creation in the universe has its own value, and there are all everything connected with the biological tie-up between all the all those. Considering human body itself, it maintains. Say example, you take it a human body. You don't need to go any around, even in your own body. It maintains the fixed temperature where you are living in Antarctica or Africa or even in a desert. How when you move to a hot place, your body automatically sweats a lot, right? To cool down and maintain the temperature. Similarly, when you move to a cooler area, how we say, our pores in the body, the skin closes to reduce the further cooling. Well, I want to connect it here very importantly. The same way the plant does that. Someone asked about how about sunlight. How about how you're keeping a plant in bedroom? How it's going to happen? So I just want to connect a little here because the same pores in the plant leaves can absorb what we are breathing out, called CO2, carbon dioxide, and produces energy. They can same the pores can send out oxygen. That's there where keeping some of the indoor plants like aloe vera, snake plants can get you the plenty of oxygen in the night, so that you have a better sleep. So that's anyway. We'll come into that point. The simple fact remains here, Ryan. The rain comes from the sky, okay, and the food comes from the earth. So this is where human here just the user, basically the user of what we are getting from the nature. Okay, now you would have understood the nature is what exactly. So we are just the user of what the Almighty blessed us. Like you are saying that the rains come from the heaven and yield comes from the earth. So this is the way the nature begins. Now, to understand that, we need to make up our mind saying that we need to live along with the nature. Our action based on our intention. So what to do that? There comes, you need to make a small changes. How? Once basically once you enjoy the benefit, you would never go out of the way. What are the small changes can be done? There are many, when you come to that, there are many forums and groups individuals even talking about natural living. But my piece of advice here, to follow your footsteps of your ancestor. Discuss with the oldest person or eldest person in the family to know how the ancestor lived. Try to practice that instead of learning from someone who descend from a different place and culture. As we all know, uh, it's good to consume fruits and vegetables and grow in and around you, right? Rather than imported ones, as those are enriched with vitamins and nutrition needed to the people living in that area. So same concept applies to the lifestyle, land, and implement from your own family. Basically, you need to learn your from your ancestor, your the eldest member in your family, that how they consume, what they consume, how they live the lifestyle along with the nature, not being against the nature. There where we are missing here. So because what we say, oh come on, I want to give a natural life. I want a natural organic gardening. Where you are going, just going to the forum, something throughout the world, from Australia to Antarctica, everywhere. Maybe that's the region differs, and they may be saying from their aspect of view. Like for example, being in India, the guava, it's one of the most amazing fruit, but when you go to New Zealand, the similar one, what they call as a kiwi, right? So those is, that is basically people who consume, no, I want to consume kiwi. Doesn't mean. So those are things that are coming for import. Whereas you can grow in your backyard, the same guava. I'm talking about in the condition in India, right? Even here as well. So that is when you grow your own food and consume that, that itself will take care of it. This is what we need to learn from, rather than going around. We have our own university in our home itself. Like our ancestor, the oldest person. Sit with them, talk to them. How exactly happened? How they did, what they did. That will open up your eyes, your mind. Open up your eyes and brain. That okay, this is nature. Okay, now this is what not happening in recent past. That we just tend to browse, Google and check for the YouTube videos and this and that, without understanding what is nature, the base. We have to understand the base. If you don't understand the base, then even if you study the end, you will be confused and you will no way will start into practice. So this is what the very important stuff what I want to mention here. Okay, simple. How even these are the things. This is the reason why when I seeing all this thing, I have felt myself okay. Now sharing our practical experiences is very very important. Okay, it's across the globe. Never mind. That's where we have created a group in WhatsApp. When we started discussing in what only the experiences point of view to the different people, we have come across over the years many things. That is, so we have got a legends also in natural living group. So when we discuss some things which can made how to reduce the chemical thing in our life, how to lead a simple and efficient self-sufficient life, and where how to cleanse water naturally, like basically how to cook traditional way of cooking, something like what to say, even the basically the water, cleansing water naturally, cooking stuff in traditional way. We are trying to bring the basically the stuff called the tradition and natural living to our part. So those experience videos, basically how people are this thing are even posted in our YouTube page. Normally, when you most of the things when it comes to the YouTube, they used to say this and that, something and all. People get confused, and come on now, how it's when you go and try to approach them, it will be a different story. So what I did, those people are in our group and different groups, and whatever the clarification when you're asking, they were there to explain also. Of course, I am there to explain because I have been with them for the years and how they did, how they implemented, because we're discussing everything in forum. And we always specifically focus on, come on, go back to your ancestor, go back to your this thing and grandma's advice, and take it from there and try to share with us and how you practice yourself. Recently, just for a quick glance, just a couple of days ago, before this forum, I asked in a group, our groups, right? Come on, I need your practical experiences of using rice wash water other than in gardening. Okay, anyway, going to discuss detail later. So few of them come up with their ideas, their experiences. One of them really impressed me a lot. because it's a 25, the lady, Ms. Poonima, what she said is 25 years old story that her brother son, brother child, when he was informed, being in the beginning, not able to walk properly. Okay. When you're not able to walk properly, they went to the doctor. There was, there's this deficiency. When you grow old, they need to do the operation, something, so on. This is what the doctor's been said. So they were so upset. And there comes, she met a old grandma and a neighbor. She said, just boil everyday rice was after washing the rice, just boil a little bit of the rice was water and start applying every day as a massage and try and see that. And then the moment, and this is the practical experience I'm talking about, example. And what Rohini is saying, actually, the moment I heard, what a stupid idea. Like your doctors are saying, do the operation, and you're asking to pour the rice wash water to your legs, whereas he's not able to walk properly. But still, her brother had a hope. The grandma, she believed in something. She started using that one. Then the miracle happened actually after a year, over the years, I mean more than a year, that the child able to walk properly without any discomfort, even in the desert. So what more proof you need? This is what the answer is. When you have a small thing which you don't understand, they have practiced into their life. So from that, we need to put into practice. So this is what we are discussing basically in the group, sharing your practical experience only, not any kind of the reference and this and that. Because when you ask for, okay, how to grow mint, there will be 100 videos. And I want to tell you one more thing here. There are members here who, to precisely I can name them. CS even they informed me that please do mention my name, that so that people get to know that that when you have a patient with persistence, it's very important you can get through. See, more than over 2 years, she was trying to grow mint and watched over 1 million videos on YouTube and different language as well. Okay, but what happened ultimately, starts doesn't go well, and thereby he comes in, and we told them, come on, there's a simple step. We step 1, 2, 3, 4. There's what small mistake they're holding it, that get the mint from the store. Don't keep it in the fridge, because when you're keeping in the fridge, the moisture absorb everything, and then you will have a less life and the less chance of getting into success. Bring it and immediately remove all the leaves except top 2, 3 leaves, and choose a strong stem. Cut up in the bottom, your 45-degree cut. Keep in a water. Daily change water for next 2 days, and after that, after that, every 2 days you can change the water. Within a week, the root will form. This is during the time. In fact, she had taken even called me personally, in the phone, in the WhatsApp. So I said, okay, am I doing right? And I told her only one thing: stop watching everything, just start focusing only this thing. And then she has done it for a week. Then God's grace, now she's one of the master grower of mint in water. Is keep harvesting after harvesting after harvest. So how this happened? Because there are certain things when you explain here, one small thing missed out, what keeping in fridge and using it in for regrowing. So this small thing cannot explain in any references or something else. There where we need to share our practical experiences, right? This is what we are trying to say, and those are the steps how it's happening in a practical way. We have put it in our YouTube pages, and as well as in the Facebook page, so that this can be any doubts arising from there can be discussed in detail. Now, so now you understood how exactly happening. These are the natural living to natural gardening we all discussed there. Now the food, wherever you are trying to grow some fruits, rather than getting just when you're trying to get the fruits or food something, you look out for the how to regrow it. Rather than like everything trying to again and again going back to supermarket and getting it, even a snatch stem. So just after cutting, even the mint I'm saying that you can regrow and try to conceive from there, so that you will know how it's getting, how it's happening without 100% in front of your own eyes, without any chemical. Like then there comes, this is going to discuss in detail, and this is the food. Now how to other stuff we're getting in, using cleaners. Now everyone used to clean their vessel, wash their clothes, right? So that can be made from home itself. That's called bioenzyme. Very simple one. It doesn't need a big stuff. Like basically, to say that, that also again, we put it in a detailed way, from the one who was practicing for years in a home and in a home itself. That's nothing but it's a matter of taking your orange or any citrus peels. Take a big container, like which is big enough. Top and top part should be is a big wide open mouth actually. So that is basically 15%. That's after the container size should be 15%. 10% is of water, and like 3% is the peels, and 1% is the jaggery. And just mix of this and keeping in that bowl every day, open close next 30 days, and after that keep it aside for next 2 months. In 3 months, your ultimate bioenzyme is ready, which is used for your cleaning your vessel, your day-to-day usage like washing a glass, everything. So here you are completely avoiding chemicals natural way. These are the steps can be taken in your life. That's what you are trying to say, right? Now, the next is comes in actually after that, we're using a natural fertilizer. Again, natural fertilizer, how to make it? Okay, we'll be saying it up. And then a natural pest repellents in your home as well as even in the garden. So those are the steps. Small steps can be taken to make sure that you are leading to as much as possible a self-sufficient life, which will definitely not cost you basically expensive stuff. It's all can be made from the even most of the cases can be made from the waste itself, the kitchen waste. That's what we are trying to say. Now, we covered out the first topic, basically the nature and how it's bringing nature to your home. These are the ways to bring your home, right? Like having a natural water cleanser, using less use of chemical even in the cleaning and other stuff from our kitchen waste, and using nature fertilizer and trying to follow the traditional way of cooking, national, instance how they followed to preserve the nutrition in most way, right? Now, let us move to the next one, which is basically grow your own food with the space and place, not a constraint, right? What we told, you have got an environment such a way like you have only got a studio flat where the doesn't even exist with in the balcony. So how to do that? There comes your ultimate super easy growing one called microgreens. One moment. So microgreens are what? These are vegetable greens with a few leaves grown from the seeds. So this is very most of the cases we know sprouts. It's everyone knows sprouts is one of the highly nutritious canon. And then the few leaves is then greens and microgreens, nothing but microgreens is an older cousin of and matured cousin of or nutritious cousin of sprouts. So it can be done with it doesn't need to have the bigger stuff, just a tray. When you go to buy a coconut, start at coconut actually from the supermarket, you'll be getting a tray, right, in a plastic. There can have a tissue paper, just a misting up and keeping your like fenugreek, mustard. These all can be grown with a less care, just near the windowsill. Within 2 weeks, you can harvest first. After once the harvest, again, you can after a couple more times also can be harvested. Same way, you can grow the mint, coriander, even without using even the soil also near the windowsill. So this is the benefit is you are growing your own food as much as possible and doesn't cost anything much bigger, doesn't cost much and can be grown in the soil as well as pot. When you're sowing in the pots, even if you have a little small balcony near the windowsill where you can keep a few pots, small pots also, that's good enough. I will show you here actually basically if possible thing. Able to see that? Just 3 days old. So this is nothing but I just showed it, and near the windowsill, just showed it in the soil, 3 days, this is the growth. This can be harvested in 2 weeks time. They are very high in nutrition. It can, most of the cases you can grow, most of the cases you can grow anything, everything, pulses, seeds, fruits, vegetable, etc. So this is a ultimate example and classic example of how, grow your own food naturally. Even anyway, okay, what they're saying is screen sharing. Fine. Anyway, I'll try to show the end of the session that some of the items grown near the windowsill and the natural cleaner bioenzyme prepared in my home, so that you'll have an idea how it is how easier to move with the natural self-sufficient life, right? Now, these are the few things. You can see the chenna sprouts there near the windowsill, and even the sweet potato and grown in water. Just yeah, the demos are, I think, it can be seen in the later in a group. We have a YouTube page where all our members from across the globe. As I want to say, we have members like from Australia, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Malaysia, Oman, Qatar, UAE, India, everywhere. What we all following is a simple and natural way to grow our own food from natural garden to natural living. So all those experiences, what we shared, been implemented, been succeeded, and you can see those when you are in the group, you can able to feel the difference. Because we have got a 4 groups in Tamil itself and 1 group in English, and we don't even leave kids also. We have a kids group which is common for Tamil, non-Tamil speakers above 6 years old. There also we teach the kids from the very basic stuff, how they are growing their own food. And we have so it's basically 6, and we have one separate group called natural food. Basically, there the ladies, particularly only for the ladies, we discuss each and everything on the thing from the morning to evening, or morning to start your wake up to the end, how you are taking your lifestyle. So that all being discussed there, and the every practical aspect. So and that we are once you have for example, curd and yogurt. So this is everyone will having doubt. What is curd? What is yogurt? So we discussed there and putting it in even in a video of how what's the difference, what exactly those stuff. So people know exactly how to have a maximum lifestyle with the least chemical usage. So that's what they think. Now, so you can see that the sweet potato grown in water, and Sumathi, I think we can share it in the end after the session, because definitely we can have the full link, which will say the YouTube link as well as the Facebook link as well as the WhatsApp group, new group which is created for this forum exclusively, so that they can join there. Just a click away, they can join there. Okay, that's what to say. The mint grown in near the windowsill. You can see that how very biggest amounts are grown near the window, and this is the way of growing your own food naturally without getting a big thing. That is actually basically compost. It's the last part. Before that, I'll come to that. This is very important. Like we are living in a lifestyle that where in a closed environment, right? So we breathe CO2, carbon dioxide, and others also we are just breathe out, and the others also breathe out. We try to force to take intake, and most of the cases, I mean, sunstorm is happening. Something most people, and particularly with the lockdown, even they cannot able to go out. So what's the solution, and how to have the natural air and stress-free life in your home? There comes the indoor gardening. Well, I'm speaking the practical aspects, because I have grown what you're seeing here in my 1-bedroom apartment in Dubai, Discovery Garden, where I grown in hall itself 150 plus plants over the years without any issues. So what are the practical aspects we are facing, and what are any difficulties? Every aspect I can able to explain, because I have grown over the years 150 plants. I lived with 150 plants, even the bedroom, I kept around more than 12 plus plants. You can see that in the corner of where is aloe vera and snake plants. And here comes, there were people asking, how come it is possible? Like, this, we know always that plants in the day, they produce, they release oxygen, and the night respiration, basically, they give CO2. So how come you want to sleep with the plant? Well, these indoor plants differ from the normal plants. There are two kind of photosynthesis. This is the one of the this we not in detail. I'm saying in a nutshell because we have limited time. Uh, that these kind of photosynthesis basically they they do the least light. Okay, and they even and what I told, the porous, what we discussed about the porous, the leaves, they what we breathe out, the CO2, can be used as an energy to make for them to stay healthy and live. And the same porous present in the plant, what I'm examining, I can say the aloe vera and snake plant. These are the classic example of giving a lot of oxygen in the night. The same plant, same porous can breathe out the oxygen. So we need oxygen, right? So that when you have it, you have the good sleep and peace of mind. And as a practical aspect, as I said, when I lived with it, when I come back from the office, seeing the greenery in your home, inside your home, without going out, even because you don't have a even like balcony going out, balcony, or the sunstorm outside, still how to enjoy the natural air. I could feel there's so much of calm, coolness. I even hardly used AC. I could feel a lot of what to say, the clear air. I could be able to feel it. There is no kind of headache, or when you just sit near to them, having a pinch of your mint from there, have a tea. You definitely, when you have it, you will feel that much of enjoyment. You'll feel it because I experienced all those stuff in my life. So there comes the indoor plants, and these are the few indoor plants I have chosen. Top 10. Anyone who's a beginner in gardening, come on, I don't know much about caring of the plants, how to water, when to water, and these are the few plants with the least care. Keep in your hall also, in your inside your apartment, a flat, whatever you call it. So they don't need water frequently. Even some of the just the top soil, when you dry, you need to water. For example, like aloe vera, snake plant, a couple of weeks or so you can having water. As misting up with the water also will do. And I have snake plant in my bedroom. Due to this thing, I didn't water for 2 months, and still it's having a good, because of the that the AC, the stuff it just does take care of. Another one of the east, everybody must be knowing it, ZZ plant. This plant, even if you taken care to the least, it will you will give you can see the good growth and greeny stuff, right? So this is the benefit of having an indoor gardening. Even in your room, the nature is basically inside your room, inside your hall, and still you're enjoying the fresh air and a lot of health benefits. Yeah, this is it. And now the third point is actually okay. Before that, we will see that these are the yeah, in my home. These are the stuff you can see grown in desert land from using our simple kitchen waste. Okay, and you can see that in the photo right side, in the land, how greenish look, and left, and then to the left, the open plant, there's the coriander, and there's a small pot. You can see that it's spinach, and the other one is near the windowsill, the mint, Indian oregano growing up, and the other one is very easiest to grow. That's everyone will be taking sabja seeds, basil. So that sabja, it's bees, honeybees paradise. Yeah. Yeah, and even that, if you look at the the harvest there, it's above more than close to 3 kg. So which I had it from the kitchen waste, nothing more than that. Okay, someone asked why you call as a natural composting. Here I need to tell that okay, Have you ever wondered the soil, how it's happening and where it's happening? Because we might, when you're going vacations, forget about vacation. Even when you're going in here, the mountain or the faraway place where humans are not frequently visiting. Even Dubai, this article you would have, last year you would have heard about after a few weeks of rain, the desert looked greenery. So how it happened, where it happened, right? So there were actually you have to understand the concept of nature. Nature is not, but here the soil, what I'm talking about, the soil first food is rainwater. Rainwater, when it hits the ground, the soil takes as a food. It eats. Wow, lovely dish. Yeah. So it eats the right. It takes the food, takes the food, and then after the taking the food, it gives a birth called the microbes. When the microbes are born, now come on, here comes who are the helping the grow the further. Now the bats, their waste. Animals, when they're moving, again the waste. And then we got a river and those things, when you're passing by, they can take the waste and leaves and seeds, whatever from the fruits which is fallen down, can pass by. Those are, when you add it with that, basically it gets, the microbes gets multiplied, and it's giving a billion, not million, billion births of microbes to do the natural way of composting the soil. That's like fertilizing the soil. That's called natural composting. See, there you have seen the rainwater hits the ground, and the place you're not even peoples are gone. As a place, you can see how greenery looking and how it's happening. Who is watering, right? So the same way I thought about it. I thought about it. How to why should you go for expensive stuff? Buying, when you say gardening, the first and foremost of everyone comes in the mind that, oh, come on, we should have a big land. That's the first step, and we should have a lot of space, and then there are and the third stuff. Third is to come almost the first. This is called the manures. Manures. What I mean here, the cow dung, goat waste, and chicken waste. So basically, those waste to use as a fertilizer. Even if you want to go 100% natural gardening way, right? So that is there, and but that is actually still you need to go for it and find out. And the smell constraint, again, it's a little bit of, if you the place like Dubai here, okay, it's not that easier to get it. So what are the simple alternative way? Come on, here comes the natural way of composting. That's what I did in my office. Initially, taking all the vegetable fruit waste in a cover, but basically whatever vegetable fruit waste, I used to keep it in a plastic cover and tie it up. So this is gets there. So when you're closing in with a tight air, the air is not there. It's a fermentation started from there itself. The fermenting takes place there itself. So the next day morning when I go to office in the desert land, which is there was no life, which is having a sand, stones mixed with that. In that area, I'll be anyway when you joining the group, I'll be mentioning it in a detailed way, how I prepared the land, how I got success, and what are the things that happened, and from each and every step. Because when you're growing a food, or when you want to do gardening, there are three things: in the pot, in land, and the rice bed. All three aspects I have experienced. So and our members across the globe experience, so they can share their experience in a more practical way, in how to get it in a 100% natural way, right? So I did it. I just dumped it and rotated. What I did, just I dumped and covered with the sun again. And weekly once, every Thursday before evening go, I watered it completely. So you got a holiday Friday, Saturday, so it can dampen the place. Sunday morning when it comes, just rotate it a little bit, and then adding more vegetable waste, fruit waste. So in my waste, most of the cases, onion, garlic, banana peels, and fruit waste, like whatever we consume, like guava, apple, whatever we So those this thing, which is a 3 months period, it got composted. I can able to see in that, because the land was already dumped with the construction materials of like sands, everything and that. So initially it took long time for me in the land. Over the 3 months, I just showed the coriander without even splitting. I showed it. I got a success of ultimate success growing that coriander in desert sand without adding any manure. So, and that interest took me further to, explore and more, which made me to grow. You know, changing that, it's, well, one of the important factor in gardening, in farming, what they say actually, rotation of not only soil, the crop rotation. Like if you grow carrot, this, next you grow and beetroot, not the same, because the nutrition shared with everyone equally that way. So I, without adding any expensive stuff, I have grown in that simple way of this composting, more than 8 varieties of fruits or 25 plus varieties of vegetables. So over the period, I have, which I done it in the rice bed, which was much faster. I can able to see the benefit and the success even less than 24 days. So there also we're going to explain in detail. And when it comes to that, this is the composting you will be having. Okay, now you might say that that's the last topic, the third topic. Yeah, that's your kitchen, turning your kitchen waste into amazing plant booster. That's what, you got something now. Okay, now I got all the interest to grow my own food. I got some balcony. I got some, yeah, I got some balcony. I got something like a small area behind my home or something in a backyard, or even the front side. So how to have the fertile soil, right? So there where actually we are saying, don't buy any expensive stuff from your kitchen waste, can turn into that. Now, one of the most and amazing stuff which we use is called rice wash water. Every day, almost we used to cook rice, most of the people, right? That washing that rice wash water, okay, that can be kept in in a container, in a bucket, like, because obviously you'll be washing that water in the, for the lunch or even sometime dinner. So that time is okay, keep that rice wash water in a bucket, um, even your vegetable wash water, everything. But I am, without you going in detail, even rice wash water alone you can take it. Just keep the rice wash water and in a closed container, you can just close it. Just take a bucket and pour, and you can even you can close it. The next day early morning, when you pour this water to your plants, even you no need to mix water also, right? You can see the great and fantastic growth in your plants. So the rice, the starch present in the rice was water. It's amazing powerhouse. Even in the desert, okay, the extreme hot and humid condition, the most people say, come on, I actually in the hot summer, we want to grow, some at least, yeah, spinach varieties, it's easy to grow. But sir, after seeding, a few days of, after seeds comes perfectly fine. At the week time, it dies. Now, here comes, if you use the rice wash water, then that powerhouse to take care of growing nicely. So the spinach varieties can be grown outside within a month time. And once they grow, the first harvest takes a month. And after that, every week you can harvest. So I will show again how I grown in my windowsill, the power of rice wash water. And other thing, which I wanted to tell about, actually, basically, you'll be using now the composting part. Basically, when you hear the composting, people always think about what? Carbon ratio, nitrogen ratio, the wet, dry, rotate. So okay, then they'll try to land it different methods. Okay, then for some time, oh, it's smelly. It doesn't. Okay, come on, I can't do it. So this is what going to happening. Going to happen most of the cases. So there where we have find a solution. Well, even if you no need to go this thing, you will be taking a two stuff, onion and garlic. Okay, and then these, when you're using that onion garlic, the skins don't throw away. Just soak this into the rice wash water. Okay, and next, over the night, basically the one day after, the soaking this in water can be poured to the plants. The same way, you will be having, you'll be enjoying the world best breakfast called idli, right? Those, when the the butter get more so or expired, you'll be saying, come on, okay, I need to throw it up. Don't throw it. And that is the ultimate plant boost for your curry leaf plant, jasmine, almost every flowering plant. Okay, I want to grow curry leaves. It doesn't grow well. take a dosa butter, expired one, or which is stored one. Keep it aside for 2 to 3 days outside. Okay, and then mix thoroughly with water. Thoroughly with water. Even that also, I have made myself the video and uploaded in our YouTube page, so that people have any doubts, they can ask me, and I can able, because it's easy to put it in video format of what we are trying to do it in recent past. That's really making a difficult, everyone not able to go back again and again and forward in the WhatsApp. So this will make it easier for them to go and check in, even in the big screen, and they can able to see it and understand it thoroughly and come back and start using it. If any doubts, they can ask as well. So I may dosa butter mixed with the water. That can be poured to a jasmine plant, curry leaf plant. You can see that such amazing growth. Okay, now comes to the growth is happening. Fine. Now people, sir, I got growing well, the curry leaf plant growing well. After that, like that's what you're saying, it's growing, but not growing very bushy. Here comes people make a mistake when they grow the curry leaf plant, example, even the mint plant, they're trying to pick the leaves. No, it's not happen that way. You need to use your sharp scissor to harvest. That's we call, and technically called, pruning. When you start pruning, there where there comes actually very importantly the amazing growth happens. So that more bushier happen. There also everything we are explaining in detail. How it's happening, how to harvest, even that also. So this is basically how your kitchen waste. What I said about turn your kitchen waste into an amazing plant booster, right? What's the kitchen waste called? Rice wash water, your stored laban, so dosa butter. That's enough. And with whatever the vegetable, the skins like onion, garlic skins, your banana peels, that are the powerhouse plant. The booster for amazing power booster for your plant's growth. Well, the time is speeding up. We just quickly, go through see the slides of, okay, and the compost. Here also again we have members made different kind of composting across the globe. They used to share their practical experiences, like how they made it in the balcony, how to make it in the cardboard box in the Dubai, all those stuff. This is actually called composting. So it's a soil making process. Blood gold. Oh, those videos references is there. And see my way of doing composting in the rice, but look at that. You can see that dumping the waste, dumping the waste, what you call is the kitchen waste, which is in the desert sand, and just rotating. You can see that the growth. Okay, and when you're doing in a compost in the earthen pot, it's a wonderful one. It can, because earthen pot has a porous, it will take care of composting much better way. Again, the same system method. Yeah. And see, this is the the growth. I stick in the carrots and bottle gourd. Okay. Now the natural tonics, which I was telling about. See that cooked rice was what that rice uncooked waste soaked in rice was water overnight. How it looks. And what I see here, that the second picture, that everybody in most of the office we used to drink tea. The tea bags. What I used to do, that I used to collect it in a container, the dustbin, and I just remove the stapler pin and the thread. That's it. And I used it in the rice. You can see that I used it in the rice bed. Okay, so that is naturally used actually. The roses, growing rose. I just need a banana and and use coffee grounds or tea grounds. That's it. So this is one of the thing I have grown beautiful roses in desert using this just the tea grounds. Is same, use tea grounds plus the banana peels. Okay, now the natural pest repellent. Okay, when it comes to here, okay, before that I'll just show this thing. There's some of that harvest in containers, pomegranate. You can see that in tomatoes. These are the harvest. This is growing in the rice bed. The final part, coming to the natural pest repellents, I'll discuss that in 2 minutes. But these are the harvest I want to show. Look at the tomatoes in desert garden, in a desert, cucumber, beetroot, and in the rice bed, in the flowering plants. This and the last, you can see that the mint in the used water can grown. So this is our page, basically called our YouTube page. and sharing your experiences on the Facebook page as well. Now, coming to the last part, that what I want to say, rather than going for the best, we natural gardening, as I said at the beginning, patience and persistence is the most important factor. But when it comes to that, people, rather than using that the chemical spray for killing the spray, this is what is happening. We are not killing the spray. We are in natural living or natural gardening. Keep in mind one thing, that's let us live, let us make others live. So that's very important. We are not killing off any pest, we are sending off the pest. That's the most important factor we should understand. Well, how to do that without using the expensive stuff also, even that making the 3G spray, the name which is plucked from the leaves, can make it from the home. That's a part. To grow natural pest repellents, like it's called marigold, one of the natural pest repellent plant, lemongrass, mint, and these even petunias, which is a 1 gram in Dubai, is available. Even this marigolds available in 1 gram. Those plants grow around your this thing in bulk. This thing, it will invite the natural pollinators, and not only that, it will send off the bad fellows. Means, okay, you had it, now it's time for you to go. But very important, we should have the patience. Okay, I just sprayed neem spray. In 1 week it doesn't go. No, when you're growing the base very strong and powerful, resistant in the soil, even that will also, that itself will take care of the, it will not get affected easily. So even enjoying that naturally, even the pests also are having a power. Come on, I'm having a best base to move around. But when you're using that natural repellent plants and other sprays, slowly and steadily it will move off. So this is it. We're talking about from natural garden to natural living. That we call as a natural and organic gardening life. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Now giving over to Ms. Deepa to take it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Kader. And it was an excellent and highly informative presentation. We can take away some fresh ideas and inspiration to create our own beautiful garden. And so with that, we can go ahead and make some time for questions now. It looks like we have a few questions already. I now invite Mrs. Sumathi Veeraraghavan, member of our Women's Forum, to take over the Q&A session. Before I hand it over to Sumathi, I would like to thank her for introducing Mr. Abdul Kader and his group of Nature's extended joint family to us, as well as thank her for all her support in organizing the webinar. Over to you, Sumathi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deepa. It was an excellent presentation, Mr. Abdul Kader. Very informative, as Deepa told. Yeah. Time for Q&A. Yeah, so many overwhelming response from our webinar audience. I'll pick few of them now. Yeah, what is the simplest way to care indoor plants?
Okay, good. If you have what to say, onion, garlic, just sun dry them. Okay, how to dry is like just near the it doesn't smell well. First of all, 2 to 3 days it gets dried up. Make a powder. Okay, and same way the eggshells that can be powdered. Keep it in which can be used for every 2 months. When you're using, you don't need to even store it. Just remove the topsoil, single-use cinnamon powder. And then around it, you can use this after 2 days. I think this thing can use that garlic powder or even that onion powder. That's all. Then, of course, rice plus water. That's more than enough to take care of the indoor plants.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Abdul Kader. Then, do you guide us how to grow in desert area, this curry leaves, other roses, all those things? One of
yes.
participants is asking about this curry leaves.
Yes,
our
yes,
Indian
yes.
Cooking, every day we need curry leaves in our Indian cooking, right?
Yeah, true. I'll show here also that that basically I can take it. I can show one moment. Can I show this? Is so okay. You can see here. You able to see that? I think, Mr. Sulaif?
Not yet.
I believe that's Mr. Sulaif. I think can able to the front camera is only. I think. Well, I'll do one thing. I'll take off the. It looks like some technical difficulties showing up this. I kept it here. The mint, curry leaves, the spinach varieties. In such a small pot, how has grown up beautifully well without much care near the window. So, as I said, curry leaves does need you drink buttermilk. Give something for even curry leaves as well. So it will grow nicely. Whatever you're throwing out, those you give it to a curry leaves, it will grow nicely.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Abdul Kader. Then some of the participants, they were asking, what about the sunlight while growing indoor plants?
Well, this is okay. This can be discussed in detailed way, well, in a group as well, because you need to understand what is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. That's the concept actually. And then sunlight. It doesn't mean you need to keep it outside or is slicing through the window glass. It just needs sufficient light is enough to do the photosynthesis. There, where this is clarified, means it doesn't need to be exactly open outside to grow your food.
Yeah.
Because I have grown myself. What I'm seeing in the practical aspect, what I grown myself.
Mm. Thank you. Then what is rooting hormone?
Well, in a kitchen, you've got two most powerful spices. In what is that? Turmeric and cinnamon powder. Turmeric, you may one of the best natural antiseptic, or you call whatever, when you even have wounds, we used to apply turmeric powder to kill off way off the bacteria and this thing to heal faster. The same way for plants, what's the thing is cinnamon powder. If you have a cuts and wounds in your in your body, how you're applying it, the same way if you cuts and wounds, that the cinnamon powder can take care of it. Okay, now this is same way. Now in the rooting hormone, how to do that is cinnamon powder is one of the natural rooting hormone. Honey, aloe vera gel. Okay, now how to make it? And the last but not least, our own saliva is one of the best natural rooting hormone. A very simple way, quickly I can say that how to use effectively. Take a one tissue paper, basically like which is paper tissue, and you take a cutting that just so that like when you just mist it, not misting means just slightly making sure it's getting lightly wet. Then sprinkle the cinnamon powder a few, so it sticks. The cinnamon powder sticks to the tissue paper. Then take the cutting, roll over there, so it's applied properly. Plant it. That's it. You got rooting hormones ready. Same way, you can make a paste. Take a small kind of bowl. Cinnamon powder, honey can be mixed. That can be can be coated with the same cutting, can be coated and plant it. These are done by our users with a greater success. Rather than going into the article, okay, this and that and something and all, we have done it with the practical aspects and people succeeded. And as I said, even your own saliva, you can spit it out in a bowl. That can be again coated with the cuttings, planted also. So as I said, cinnamon powder, honey, aloe vera gel, and your own saliva. These are the best natural homemade rooting hormones.
Oh, thank you so much. Then, so many questions. Yeah. Because of time constraint, I'll take up, this is the last question for this webinar. What kind of plants can we grow indoors to repel the insects, like ants or something?
Mint, lemongrass. Even actually mint, lemongrass, Indian oregano. These are the stuffs. Basically, ants. I have grown here. I didn't see any ants coming in indoor. Actually, first of all, the plants which is growing in indoors, but indoor plants categorically does not. First of all, no insects. And then there won't be nothing called, there will be something will come or not. No, that's nothing called like that. And even if when you're growing mint, lemongrass nearby, first few hours of sunlight near the windowsill, that itself is a natural pest repellent plants. Even the marigold, one of the easy growing, that also can be grown.
Yeah, thank you so much for your all answers. This Mr. Abdul Kader is a walking encyclopedia. He is ready to answer all our questions about the plant and soil. Yeah, thanks a lot for your
one last thing before I wind up, I want to say, you know, my grandma is my inspiration. She has grown beautiful roses in India. When I was watching small, she used only two components called the banana, the pea. When you eat banana, we remove the skins. He doesn't even need to put anything. You know, he just remove some soil. He will put it across. And then, when we in olden days, when you make hot water for taking bath using the wood stick. So those you have a wood ash used to be there, and time to time you used to sprinkle. That's it. The jasmine rose has grown beautifully. That the same thing I seeing that impression I used here. I have grown roses which is giving 40 plus flowers in Dubai. I think I have a sister in USA who's having the same way growing in the same the same formula applied there, growing beautiful roses. So this shows the the place and the place doesn't matter, that the formula, simple formula of ancestor was followed can do the wonders. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Kader. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Kader and Sumathi. This was extremely beneficial, I should say. Very, very informative Q&A. I know we had a lot of questions coming from our audience, but due to the time constraints, some of the questions which are not answered will be taken offline through the WhatsApp group created by Mr. Abdul Kader. Sumathi will be sharing the link of the group on the Zoom chat box. And Mr. Abdul Kader, if there is anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap up?
Well, I must say special thanks to you, everyone, each and everyone, and particularly you, and the conveners as well as the forum members for making such a wonderful arrangement. It's my pleasure to spread the happiness across the globe. It's always say, let us live, let us make others live with all the goodness of being much more closer towards nature. So that's all I wanted to say, and there's no words to describe. Thanks million for everyone, for coming forward, and you both, Ms. Deepa as well as Sumathi ji, for arranging this such a thing, taking efforts, each and every effort, highly appreciated. Okay, and one last thing I wanted to say, everything can be further fully can be discussed. I don't feel that we are leaving you like that in the forum, and that in the group. We are most welcome, and there we can discuss in detail any kind of clarification doubts also. Thank you. I just want to sorry to interrupt you. Sumathi, if you can able to share the complete the link, not like only the copy the link, the invitation link completely with the YouTube page and the Facebook page into one shot, so that everybody can watch and get into that easily. Because what you are sharing is only the link only. That is not the case. You want the full complete, the copy base and the entire stuff, and can paste it here. That will be good actually.
Okay, during the end of the seminar we will do it.
Okay.
I would now like to invite Mrs. Sumathi Veeraraghavan to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Deepa. Yeah, good evening again to all of you. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of India Social and Cultural Center Women's Forum, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our guest presenter, Mr. Abdul Kader, for the excellent presentation packed with useful information that comes from hands of experience. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, expertise, and taking us into the world of gardening. Thank you, sir. Thank you, IAC Managing Committee, for providing an amazing platform to enlighten us on natural and organic gardening. Thank you, IAC Management. Our sincere gratitude to IAC Entertainment Secretary, Mr. J. Pradeep KP, for all his encouragement and support. Thank you, sir. Our special thanks to Mr. Sulai, IAC office staff, for his support and technical assistance. Thank you, Mr. Sulai. A big thank you all our participants for coming in around the world and various time zones. It made the webinar a memorable one. Thank you, participants. Last but not the least, thank you to our convener, dynamic Mrs. Deepa Lobo, for bringing this idea to life. Thank you, Mrs. Deepa. Let's enjoy the rest of the day with our organic gardening. Happy gardening. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, really, Sumathi. That's really great, and thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. My sincere gratitude and thanks to ISC Managing Committee for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks again for joining us today. Stay safe and happy gardening, and we will definitely share the YouTube links, the group, the address, everything on our various groups if someone has missed it. And I hope you all enjoyed this webinar and it was useful to you. And thank you again to our guest speaker, Mr. Abdul Kader. So with this, we end and close the session webinar today. Thank you, stay safe and happy gardening. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Million. Thank you.